2024 Hyundai-Ioniq 5N and Ioniq-6 are both exciting electric vehicles from the Korean automaker, but they cater to different driving styles and needs. Here's a breakdown of their key features to help you decide which one might be your perfect match. Performance. Ioniq 5N. This is Hyundai's first high-performance EV, boasting a dual-motor setup with 585 horsepower and 545 lb-ft of torque. It sprints from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 3.5 seconds and offers thrilling handling with its track-focused suspension and performance tires. Ioniq 6. While not a dedicated performance car, the Ioniq 6 still offers respectable power with its single motor, 225 horsepower, or dual motor, 340 horsepower, options. Its aerodynamic design and lower center of gravity contribute to agile handling, making it a fun and responsive drive. Range and efficiency. Ioniq 5N. The performance comes at a slight cost of range, with an estimated EPA rating of 256 miles on a single charge. Ioniq 6. Thanks to its sleek design and efficient drivetrain, the Ioniq 6 boasts a longer range, reaching up to 379 miles with the single motor setup and 361 miles with the dual motor version. Practicality and interior. Ioniq 5N. Despite its sporty nature, the Ioniq 5 still offers ample cargo space thanks to its boxy hatchback design. The interior is spacious and versatile, with comfortable seating for 5 and plenty of room for groceries or gear. Ioniq 6. The Ioniq 6 sacrifices some cargo space for its streamlined silhouette, offering a traditional trunk instead of a hatchback. However, the interior is more luxurious and futuristic, with a spacious front row and a panoramic sunroof that enhances the airy feel. Price and availability. Ioniq 5N. The Ioniq 5N is the more expensive option, starting at around $55,000. It's also a limited production model, so availability might be limited. Ioniq 6. The Ioniq 6 has a slightly lower starting price of around $40,000 and is expected to be more widely available than the Ioniq 5N. Conclusion. Choosing between the Ioniq 5N and Ioniq 6 depends on your priorities. If you crave blistering performance and don't mind sacrificing some range and practicality, the Ioniq 5N is the clear winner. If you prioritize efficiency, range, and a stylish, comfortable interior, the Ioniq 6 might be a better fit. Ultimately, taking both cars for a test drive is the best way to determine which one speaks to your heart and driving style. I hope this helps. Let me know if you have any other questions about these exciting electric vehicles. Hyundai has been an innovator in the EV space for a while now, and that has resulted in many prestigious awards and much critical acclaim. The most popular and critically acclaimed of the Hyundai EVs available at Preston Hyundai of Boardman are the Ioniq 6 and Ioniq 5, and in this review, we're going to compare the 2024 Hyundai Ioniq 6 versus 2024 Hyundai Ioniq 5 in order to help you determine which is best for you. While they are both based on the same platform, there is a fundamental difference. The 2024 Hyundai Ioniq 6 is a sedan while the 2024 Hyundai Ioniq 5 is a crossover SUV. Exterior, Hyundai dealer serving Boardman, Ohio. Both are compact vehicles. The 2024 Hyundai Ioniq 5 has more ground clearance, 6.1 versus 5.6 inches. The 2024 Hyundai Ioniq 6 has the shorter wheelbase, 116.1 versus 118.1 inches, but is longer overall by 8.6 inches at around 15.9 feet. The Ioniq 6 has a trunk whereas the Ioniq 5 has a rear liftgate that provides you access to the cargo space. LED headlamps and aluminum wheels are standard in both cases. With the Ioniq 6, you have the option of 18 or 20-inch wheels, and the Ioniq 5 offers 19 or 20-inch wheels. Interior, 2024 Hyundai Ioniq 6 in Boardman, Ohio. These are both 5-passenger vehicles, and the interior features are almost exactly the same at the respective trim levels. When comparing the 2024 Hyundai Ioniq 6 versus 2024 Hyundai Ioniq 5 in regard to the cabin, it'll likely come down to legroom and cargo space. The Ioniq may 6th be the better choice for the taller driver as it provides 45.4 inches of front legroom as opposed to 41.7 inches. The Ioniq 5 provides a bit more front headroom, 39.8 versus 38.7 inches, and significantly more rear legroom, 39.4 versus 34.7 inches, which could be the deciding factor if you'll have adults in the rear seats often. The crossover also provides 27.2 cubic feet of dedicated cargo space, while the sedan only has 11.2 cubic feet of trunk space. Hyundai-Ioniq-6 mechanical specs. Hyundai did offer an Southeast standard range option for the Ioniq-6 last year, but is not offering it for 2024 as of this writing. The Ioniq 5 with the smaller battery pack makes 168 horsepower and 258 pound-feet of torque. The RWD Ioniq 5 with the larger battery pack makes 225 horsepower, and the AWD model makes 320 horsepower. The numbers are the same for the RWD and AWD Ioniq 6, and both models come standard with support for Level 1, Level 2, and Level 3 charging. Technology, 2024 Hyundai Ioniq 6 dealer. The standard and optional technologies available for the Ioniq 6 and Ioniq 5 available at Preston Hyundai of Boardman are virtually the same. That includes the new twin 12.3-inch infotainment touchscreens, which Hyundai is introducing throughout its lineup. Most driver assists are standard. Notable options include a surround view camera, a blind spot camera, and remote parking assist. Request more 2024 Hyundai Ioniq 6 versus 2024 Hyundai Ioniq 5 information. If you're still undecided, we recommend comparing the 2024 Hyundai Ioniq 6 versus 2024 Hyundai Ioniq 5 through a test drive at Preston Hyundai of Boardman. You can also call or email us. We'll be happy to answer questions, discuss current Hyundai incentives, provide custom quotes, and much more. Hyundai Ioniq 6 versus Ioniq 5. Which EV is the better buy? We compare Hyundai's electric sedan and crossover, which share a platform and powertrain but have different range figures, interior dimensions, and prices. Hyundai and Kia are building some of the best electric cars you can buy today. We named both the Hyundai Ioniq 5 and the Kia EV6 to our 10 best trucks and SUVs list for 2023, and now, even just within Hyundai's Ioniq electric sub-brand, we're even more spoiled for choice. The 2023 Hyundai Ioniq 6 sedan has just joined the 5 crossover and shares the same eGMP platform, many interior appointments, and its various battery and motor configurations. But the two Ioniq models look completely different on the surface, and there are some key differentiators between the Ioniq 5 and the Ioniq 6 in specs, character, and packaging. Having now experienced both, we're comparing and contrasting these Hyundai EVs to help you decide which is better. Range, charging, and efficiency. The Ioniq 6 sedan is considerably lower, sleeker, and more aerodynamic than the Ioniq 5 crossover, and this is a boon for its estimated driving range in some configurations. The highest range version of the 6, the SE Long Range RWD, is EPA rated to go an impressive 361 miles on a charge. The similarly spec'd Ioniq 5 Long Range RWD can only manage a 303-mile EPA range. It is worth noting that the Ioniq 5's range estimate applies to all rear-wheel drive single-motor trim levels, SL, limited, with the larger battery pack, while the Ioniq 6 only achieves that impressive figure in the lower Southeast trim level with its smaller 18-inch wheels. The Ioniq 6 SAL Unlimited have 20-inch wheels and wider tires that bring their estimated range down to 305 miles. The difference is less pronounced among the all-wheel drive dual-motor variants. The top-spec Ioniq 6 AWD SAL Unlimited models are rated at 270 miles of range, while the Ioniq 5 AWD estimated range is a slightly lower 266 miles. Both the 5 and 6 also offer a smaller battery pack in the standard range models, and that's rated at 240 miles for the sedan and 220 miles for the crossover. The best compromise of the whole lineup might be the Ioniq 6 SE AWD, which combines the 18-inch wheels with the dual-motor setup and offers an estimated range of 316 miles. Regardless of which battery and powertrain you choose, all Ioniq models can charge quickly, with DC fast charging capability. Of course, all of these are just estimates, and things are different in the real world. On our own real-world 75 miles per hour highway range test, both Ioniqs fell short of their EPA ratings. The Ioniq 5 Limited AWD we tested managed 210 miles, while the Ioniq-6 SRWD managed 260 miles. This admittedly isn't an apples-to-apples comparison, and we look forward to testing more configurations of the 5 and 6 to see how they stack up on this test. Power and performance. With horsepower figures ranging from 149 horsepower for the Ioniq-6 standard range RWD setup up to 320 horsepower for the top long-range AWD configuration, both the Ioniq 5 and 6 offer a wide range of performance possibilities. The base rear-wheel drive models with the standard 53.0 kWh battery pack come with a single electric motor producing 149 horsepower in the Ioniq 5 and 168 horsepower in the Ioniq 6. Upgrading to the RWD long range, with a larger 77.4 kWh battery pack, brings power output up to 225 horsepower in both cars. The all-wheel drive configuration comes standard with the larger battery pack and has front and rear electric